What happened to the life you promised yourself? The life where you said you'd be unstoppable. The life where you'd wake up with fire in your chest and purpose in your veins. You remember those late nights, staring at the ceiling, swearing you'd make it, that you'd never settle for less, that you'd rise above everyone who doubted you? And yet here you are, scrolling, waiting, existing instead of living. The truth is brutal. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody owes you the dream you whispered to yourself when nobody was watching. You owe that to you. Every second you waste doubting your worth, someone else is building, grinding, becoming who you were supposed to be. You said you'd be different. You said you'd conquer. You said you'd be free. So what happened? Comfort happened. Excuses happened. But deep down, the fire is still there, waiting for you to stop lying to yourself and start moving again. Your potential isn't gone. It's just buried under fear and procrastination. Wake up, take control, and fight for the life you swore to yourself when your soul was still hungry. Because if you don't, then that dream, that promise dies with you. You owe your dream to yourself, no one else. Nobody is coming to hand it to you. Nobody is going to feel that burning desire in your chest the way you do. And nobody will ever understand what that dream means to you. It was born inside you for a reason. It's your responsibility, your burden, your mission. The world doesn't care about your potential. It only respects results. Every day you waste, every excuse you make, every time you say tomorrow, that dream fades a little more. The universe gave you a vision, not so you could talk about it, but so you could build it. The dream you carry isn't just some fantasy. It's a reflection of the person you could become if you stopped hiding behind fear. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can go, to discover what happens when you refuse to quit. Nobody owes you support, applause, or understanding. The moment you start waiting for people to believe in you is the moment you start losing power. The harsh truth is that even those closest to you might not see what you see. They don't have to. You are the only one who needs to believe in that vision because it's yours, not theirs. You owe it to yourself to build discipline when no one's watching, to keep pushing when no one claps, to trust yourself when doubt screams louder than hope. You owe it to yourself to prove that you were never meant to live an average life. The world will try to convince you to settle, to take the easy route, to be realistic, to stay comfortable. But comfort is the graveyard of ambition. Every time you choose comfort, you bury a piece of your dream. It feels safe, it feels calm, but it slowly kills you from the inside. The pain of hard work, the sting of failure, the exhaustion of long nights, those are the marks of someone chasing their dream. You owe it to yourself to embrace that pain because it's the only way to feel truly alive. Pain means progress. Struggle means growth. Every setback is a test, asking, how bad do you really want this? People will doubt you, they'll laugh, criticize, and call you crazy. Let them. Every great person who ever achieved anything was once told that it was impossible. You owe it to yourself to be misunderstood. You owe it to yourself to walk alone for a while. You owe it to yourself to take the hits, to stand tall when life swings hard, and to keep moving even when you're on your knees. Success isn't for the comfortable, it's for the relentless. For those who decide that no excuse, no fear, no setback is stronger than their will. When you finally start giving everything you've got, when you sacrifice sleep, comfort, and ease, something powerful happens. You begin to transform. You start to feel that strength you always knew is buried deep within you. That's the moment your dream stops being a fantasy and becomes a responsibility. You can't go back after that. You've seen what's possible when you commit fully. And the more you push, the more the universe starts to move with you. Opportunities begin to appear, not because you're lucky, but because you created them through effort and obsession. You owe it to yourself to not die with regret. Regret is the heaviest chain you'll ever carry. It's waking up one day realizing that all the potential you had was wasted on fear. You'll remember the nights you said, I'll start tomorrow, and realize that tomorrow never came. The dream was never impossible. You just didn't fight hard enough. Don't let that be your story. You owe it to yourself to look back one day and say, I gave everything, because even if you fail, you'll fail with pride, knowing you went all in. That's the kind of victory most people will never taste. Every morning, remind yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's coming to wake you up, to push you, to drag you toward greatness. You have to do that yourself. You have to find that switch inside you and flip it every single day. The world rewards those who refuse to quit, those who build when others rest, those who stay focused when others give in. You owe it to yourself to become the person who keeps going no matter what. The dream you have was never random. It's your calling. It's the voice of your higher self, begging you to rise to become everything you were meant to be. Ignore it, and you'll always feel that emptiness inside. Answer it, and your entire life changes. The road will be hard. You'll lose people. You'll fail. You'll fall. But you'll rise every single time stronger than before. You'll realize that the journey was never about the dream itself. It was about the person you became chasing. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There is only now. Every second you waste, someone else is living the life you said you wanted. Make the decision to fight for your dream like your life depends on it. Because it does. You owe your dream to yourself, not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, but because you made a promise once to become the best version of you. Keep that promise, never break it. Because the day you finally keep it, you'll realize you didn't just chase your dream, you became it. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition. It doesn't destroy you overnight. It does it slowly, quietly, and gently, like a poison that feels pleasant going down. Comfort whispers to you that you're fine where you are, that you've worked enough, that you deserve a break, that there's always tomorrow. And while you listen, while you rest, while you convince yourself that you're doing okay, your hunger fades, your fire weakens, and your dream slips further away. Comfort doesn't just hold you still, it drags you backward, because the world never stops moving. The people who want it more, the ones willing to suffer for it, they're out there grinding while you're relaxing. And one day, you wake up, realizing that your potential is stolen, not by failure, not by others, but by your own comfort. Comfort gives you the illusion of peace, but hides the truth that you're slowly losing the war against mediocrity. The bed feels warm, the couch feels safe, the routine feels easy, but easy kills. Growth doesn't happen where you feel safe. It happens in the fire, in the chaos, in the grind that most people run from. Every moment you choose comfort over progress, you tell your dreams they can wait, and dreams don't wait forever. They rot when ignored, they vanish when neglected. The life you could have had fades into a what if. The cruel part is that comfort often disguises itself as happiness. You convince yourself that you're content, that you're fine with just enough, that you're grateful. Gratitude is good, but comfort is dangerous when it makes you stop striving. You are not built to stay still. You are built to evolve. You are built to conquer challenges, to face pain, to transform pressure into strength. The world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards courage, persistence, and sacrifice. Every successful person you've ever admired got there, not because they avoided discomfort, but because they embraced it. They understood that growth begins where comfort ends. Think about it. Every great thing you've ever achieved came from moments of discomfort. The first workout that made your muscles ache, the first job that challenged you, the first failure that taught you something real. None of that felt good in the moment, but it made you stronger. It made you more capable. Comfort, on the other hand, does the opposite. It weakens your spirit, dulls your edge, it makes you soft. It convinces you that discipline is optional and that greatness can wait. But it can't. Time doesn't care about your comfort zone. It keeps moving. And if you're not growing, you're falling behind. Comfort kills ambition by making you forget why you started. You lose sight of that hunger you once had. The hunger that made you stay up late planning, the fire that made you believe anything was possible. It fades slowly, almost invisibly, until you wake up one day and realize you've settled. That's how most people live. Not because they didn't have dreams, but because they let comfort win. They told themselves they'd chase the dream later, but later becomes never. Comfort feeds you excuses until you can't distinguish between peace and laziness. You owe it to yourself to fight comfort like it's your greatest enemy, because it is. Every time you feel the pull to relax when you know you should be working, that's comfort testing your commitment. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, that's comfort whispering lies. Don't listen. Push yourself when it's hard. Get up when you don't feel like it. Train when you're tired. Study when you're unmotivated. Discipline is the weapon that kills comfort before it kills you. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. People often say they want success, freedom, and respect, but what they really want is comfort. They want the results without the pain, the praise without the process, the glory without the grind. But it doesn't work that way. You can't live like everyone else and expect to have what others don't. Success demands discomfort. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you wake up every day and do the hard things, especially when you don't want to. The gym is uncomfortable. Early mornings are uncomfortable. Failing repeatedly is uncomfortable. But all of those things forge strength, discipline, and resilience. Comfort does none of that. Comfort makes you fragile. It makes you break easily under pressure. It makes you fear struggle instead of embracing it. And when life hits you, as it always does, you realize that comfort never prepared you for the fight. Pain does. Failure does, struggle does. That's why the strongest people are not those who had it easy. They're the ones who learn to thrive in discomfort. Comfort will always tempt you because it's easy and it feels good. But easy is a trap. The more you choose comfort, the more it controls you. The more you run from challenges, the weaker you become. And the weaker you become, the smaller your dreams start to look. You begin to convince yourself that maybe you didn't want it that bad, that maybe it wasn't realistic anyway. That's comfort talking, not truth. Deep down, you know what you want, you know what you're capable of, but to get it, you have to be willing to suffer. You have to trade temporary comfort for long-term purpose. So step into discomfort willingly, chase it, live in it, make it your ally. The people who win in life aren't the ones who avoid pain, they're the ones who build power from it. Let discomfort shape you into someone unstoppable, because when you train yourself to thrive in the hard times, comfort loses its grip. You become dangerous, you become unbreakable, and when that happens, your ambition comes alive again. Remember this, comfort will never give you the life you dream of. It will only give you the life you settle for. And you weren't born to settle, you were born to rise. So stop choosing what feels good now and start choosing what will make you proud later. Comfort may be soft, but it kills silently. Ambition may be painful, but builds eternally. Choose your pain wisely, because one builds your future and the other buries it. The fire never dies, only your belief does. That spark inside you, that voice that once screamed you were meant for more, it never truly goes out. It just gets buried under fear, failure, and doubt. You still have that same power, that same hunger, that same drive you once felt when you dreamed fearlessly, but somewhere along the way you stopped believing in it. You let the world convince you that you weren't enough, that your dreams were too big, that life was supposed to be small and safe. The truth is, the fire inside you is eternal. It's your belief that flickers. And when belief fades, your life starts to dim with it. Every time you fail and don't get back up, your belief cracks. Every time someone mocks your vision and you listen, your belief weakens. Every time you doubt yourself instead of trying again, that belief fades a little more. But the fire, the true essence of who you are, never dies. It's there in every sleepless night you stare at the ceiling wondering what if. It's in every moment your heart aches because you know you were meant for more. That ache isn't weakness. It's proof that your fire is still alive, waiting for you to reignite it. Belief is the oxygen that feeds your fire. Without it, even the brightest flame turns to smoke. You don't lose motivation because you lack purpose. You lose it because you lose faith in yourself. You start thinking, maybe it's too late. Maybe you're not smart enough, talented enough, or lucky enough. But those are lies whispered by fear, not truth spoken by your heart. The truth is, the moment you start believing again, the fire roars back to life. Confidence is not about knowing you'll never fail. It's about knowing you'll never stop rising no matter how many times you do. You once had dreams so big they scared you. You talked about them with passion. You felt them deep in your bones. But somewhere along the road, life got heavy. Responsibilities piled up. Failure stung deeper, and people's opinions got louder. And slowly, you started dimming your own light, just to fit into a world that feared brightness. But remember this, your fire was never meant to please anyone else. It was meant to guide you, to light your path when everything around you felt dark. Stop letting small minds convince you to live a small life. The fire inside you was never ordinary. You were built to burn brighter than the average soul. The fire never dies because it's part of your nature. You were born with it. The hunger to create, to achieve, to grow, to conquer. That's why even when you pretend you're okay being average, something inside you feels restless. That restlessness is your inner fire calling out, begging you to move, to act, to believe again. No amount of money, comfort, or distractions will ever silence it. You can numb it temporarily, but it always returns, stronger and louder, because it's your truth trying to break through the lies you've built around it. So stop saying you've lost your passion. You haven't, you just stop feeding it. Feed it again, with discipline, with vision, with courage, with belief. Every time you take a small step forward, no matter how scared or uncertain you are, you're giving that fire life again. The flame grows with effort, with movement, with faith. The only thing that kills it is inaction. Every day you choose fear over action, you suffocate the fire that could have changed your entire world. But every day you push forward, even when it hurts, you breathe new life into it. You might think the fire has gone out because life has beaten you down. Maybe you've been betrayed, failed, or fallen apart. But understand this, fire doesn't vanish, it transforms. Sometimes it turns to embers, glowing quietly beneath the ashes, waiting for the moment you decide to believe again. One decision It's all it takes. One act of faith, one brave move toward the person you are meant to be. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take one step. And as you do, that ember catches flame. You feel it again, the power, the purpose, the passion. The most dangerous thing that can happen to a human being is not losing everything, is losing belief. Because when you lose belief, you stop trying, you stop fighting, you stop living, you go through the motions, existing instead of creating, surviving instead of thriving. But belief, real unbreakable belief, turns pain into power, struggle into strength, failure into fuel. When you believe again, you become unstoppable. When you believe unstoppable, you stop waiting for permission. You stop asking if it's possible. You just do it. Because deep down, you know the fire inside you is stronger than anything outside trying to put it out. You owe it to yourself to fan that flame again, to protect it fiercely, to feed it with daily action. Because that fire is who you are. It's your spirit, your purpose, your greatness trying to break free. You don't need anyone else to light it for you. You just need to remember that it's still burning. When you start believing again, the world changes. Not because the obstacles disappear, but because your power returns. The same power that carried you through your darkest days, the same fire that once made you unstoppable, it's all still there. You just have to stop doubting it. The fire never dies. It's in your soul, in your blood, in your heartbeat. But belief, that's your responsibility. Keep it alive, guard it, feed it. Because when you believe in yourself again, truly and fully, nothing can extinguish your flame. Not failure, not fear, not time. The fire will always burn as long as you remember it's yours to keep alive. So remember this, no matter how dark life gets, no matter how many times you fall, the fire inside you is still alive. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't need validation. It just needs your belief. You've been through storms before, and you're still standing. That means the fire never died. It only waited for you to believe again. You are stronger than the fear that silenced you, wiser than the failures that broke you, and far greater than the doubts that haunt you. You are not behind. You're being prepared. Life didn't bury your fire. It protected it until you were ready to rise again. Now is that moment. Stand tall. Look your pain in the eye and tell it you're done running. Feed your fire with action, with courage, with faith. Every step you take toward your dream breathes life back into your soul. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Create them. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Become that someone, because once you do, once you truly believe again, the fire inside you will ignite the world around you. And you'll finally realize that the fire never dies. It only waits for the moment you decide to rise from the ashes.